All right, we're live here. What's up, Chloe? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Space Water Podcast. It is December 9th, 2024, almost 6:30 p.m. We got it. All right. Let me put this down. Yo, Zeralath Immortal. I was having some internet problems for a little while. We have a storm going on over here all day long, so hopefully the internet lasts. Yeah, I actually got these shirts made in Thailand. A whole bunch of them. They were cut from the tapestry. I have a whole bunch of them like this. This one is it's like a scroll protector, goblin scroll protector. This one. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of these actually. They're one of my signature types of shirts that I wear. I've been wearing them for years, like over 10 years. Shout out to Dustin out there if Dustin's watching. I did a reading for Dustin last night. Actually, we're gonna continue it and do even a deeper dive. Welcome in the chat room, Charlotte Knight, Chloe, Zeralath. I'm gonna wait for some more people to join up in the chat room before we get started. Yeah, this is the gold cap. Of course, you guys can find me at the mysticalspiralstore.com. We just put up a 30% coupon code for the next 24 hours, guys, for everybody to get those Christmas gifts for everybody. And whether you're getting it for yourself or for someone else, we got incredible opportunities for you guys. Maybe some items that you've been looking at for a while and you've been waiting for a sale to go up. Well, now's your time. You guys can see we got the 30%. 30% coupon code. What? Incredible. And not only that, but there's some items that are already on sale, like big time. So you get to add 30% off that. Like, see, there's items that are already cut on sale drastically, like these. Some items were already cut at like 50% off. I didn't go and change them, so they're still on sale somewhere. There's hundreds of items up on the website, so I didn't go through everything and go see what I put up on sale like a few weeks ago. So there's some items out there that are already 50% off, and now you can add 30% off to that. Yeah, this is your time. This is your time. And let me remind everybody, every single order on my website comes with a free high quality gift. Every single order that has a pendant involved comes with necklace material, and shipping is included in the price. There's no extra charges at checkout unless you are ordering internationally. Then I charge extra for shipping. But incredible deal, everybody. And we have custom orders. So if there's something that you don't see up on our inventory, just contact me and I most likely have what you're looking for in our inventory. I put new items up every day as more sell. I also make custom orders. I make custom pendants. I make custom skulls. If you need something carved or something whatever, we do everything you need in-house. Some of the pictures I put up today and yesterday might not be as great as quality as some of the other ones because it's been raining out and I've been doing the last few pictures indoors. But trust me, all these products are high quality. If you want to see a better look at some quality products, you can also contact me privately. I talk to all customers out there. Yeah, go look right now because these items go quick when I put sales up. You could see a lot of them are out of stock right here. But I can make the some of the ones that are out of stock. I might be able to make the same ones very similar. Of course, everything's unique and one of a kind when you're talking about gemstones and custom pieces. But yeah, let me guys know we got 30% off at the Mystical Spiral store tonight. Just put that up today. Shout out to Magic Micah for putting that up for me. Yeah, the blue goldstone, you see, this blue goldstone was just bought like 2 days ago. but I have others I can make. I have a very limited quality quantity of blue goldstone, and my buddy Orlando made these himself. All right. So blue goldstone is a manufactured material, and it's made out of copper shavings, I think different types of uh, uh I'm drawing a blank now, but message me privately if you want to know. But it's if you ever have your chance to get your hands on some blue goldstone or other colors of goldstone, like green goldstone, guys, get it while you can because it's very hard to get because people have to go through a lot of trouble to make these. You could see it's beautiful. It's like a stream of galaxy stars. Beautiful. Look at that. So I can make others just like this. This one was bought, but I have others, and I also have a sphere available of blue goldstone if somebody's looking for it down here, right here, and it's 30% off. This one's really cool. Really dope sphere. You guys, beautiful spiral on it. You guys can see the video here. And it comes with necklace material and shipping and free gift is included. And that is the only sphere I have like that. That's the only one, but I do have tumble pieces of blue goldstone that people can get. I could show you guys in a minute if you want me to show you if you guys want me to pull them out, but um they're similar to these ones. I have other ones like this size. I don't have any more of those spheres. That's the only one available up there. But this one, I can make others like this. Just let me know if you're interested. Because I have others of that same type. They're not spheres though. They're more like tumbles. They're like like sort of like eggs, but not completely egg shaped. Some of them are like tumble stones. I really like the blue goldstone though. Really powerful with the copper tensor coil, or you can have just a regular copper coil around them or silver copper coil. Beautiful chance to get 30% off on some of the most powerful healing devices for your mind, body, and soul. Gemstones, crystals, beautiful. Also, these and um blessed and programmed palm stones we got even the heart. This is you get a pair of labradorite hearts, and these ones have been blessed and programmed, and they are really, really high quality palm stones, all carved by the Mystical Spiral team. So, guys, you guys could check that out, of course, at the Mystical Spiral Store.com. Yeah, which one were you talking about, Charlotte? How much? Which one? The sphere? Or if you guys want right here, you can if you wanted to pick a piece of blue goldstone, I can custom make you a pendant tonight. Let me see. Give me 1 second to get it out. Oh, that's the apophyllite. Just give me 1 second. All right, so I got all different blue goldstone. You guys are interested. And don't worry, guys, we'll go deep into the podcast in a moment. But we got some really interesting pieces of blue goldstone for people. And these are very sparkly, nice size, and I can custom make these into pendants. I like the silver copper with these, but regular copper looks amazing as well. And you could get me to do the Royal Cubit Twisted Tensor copper or just a regular copper coil. I got all different shapes. This one is almost like a sphere too. Beautiful blue gold stone here. This piece is big. Really nice piece. They're all unique and different shapes. I have about I have about 15 to 20 pieces here. So there's only a limited supply. So if anybody wants one of these made, just let me know. I could custom make them for you. And you can even, if you even wanted to pick one right now, let me know because they're all different shapes. Like this one is like a flat one. This one's pretty cool. Hard to wrap flat pieces like that too. But don't worry, we got you covered. Look at how beautiful that is. So silver copper twist, yeah, you want, right? So which one? What's up, Sean? Sean, I can't believe you're here. You made it. What's up, Sean? Yo, Sean, we got 30% discount on the website tonight too. Yeah, I'm so glad you caught a live show. Sean has is a longtime friend and customer as well, and he has some of the best collection of crystals, gemstones, skulls from my from my website over the years. In fact, he's a Patreon member, so he gets first. He's one of the Patreon members. Different tiers get first access to my products before they go up on my website and at a significant discount as well. So he's one of those guys that get really good access to some things. Glad he made it. Yeah, you want an oval one? Or I mean, we do have the sphere one on the website right now, but that's already made into a pendant and it's not the twisted copper, it's a regular silver copper coil. But I have ones here that are sphere like. Like this one is like a sphere. It's not a perfect sphere, but it is sphere like. And this one is also like sphere like, but it's more like an egg. Most of them are sphere like, but some are more round than others and some are more flat. What size are you looking for as well? Yeah, the rose quartz skull. Sean, you got it? That's a starlight rose quartz too, bro. So like bring it outside in the light or bring it underneath a light inside or your phone light and you'll see the starlight, flash that is beams. The starlight rose quartz has beams that crisscross each other, and they're like these laser beams that go across it. It's freaking awesome. I have some. Can you? I don't know if you guys can see it on the video. Let me show you. So starlight rose quartz has like beams of. Wait, you know what? The small one I have might be a better. Um, this one. You guys might be able to see what I'm talking about. How it has like these beams of flash that go all throughout the starlight rose quartz. Definitely the highest quality rose quartz you can get is the starlight rose quartz. This is a starlight rose quartz. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah. Yeah, you can't really see it on this video. I'm like looking at it's like just white. Yeah, these are really high quality. Yeah, I love rose quartz. I don't even have a skull of starlight rose quartz. I got a I got I got one of rose quartz, but not it's not starlight rose quartz. The one I got. It's just regular rose quartz. This is one of my favorite skulls too. I love this bad boy. Yeah, this is my golden boy hat. The golden boy. It's even got like scales on it. I don't wear this hat in public though. I wear it just for the podcast. Yeah, it's too bright. I gotta put it bright because if I don't have the camera light on, then the green screen won't show. You'll just see the green behind me. The coupon code, I think we're gonna have the coupon code up for the next 24 hours. We just put it up. So we had a we had a coupon code up for Thanksgiving and the last few days after for like 15% off, and now we just did this coupon code. So I think we're just gonna keep this one up for about a day or so though. Well, good. Some people are finally joining. We got about 13 people. And let me put this gold stone away so we can get started. Unless Charlotte, did you want to pick one of these or you want me to pick one of these out for you? One of the small ones? Let me put these away. All right. I'll send you the invoice for it. I'll give you a really good price. I'll charge you the same for uh I'll give you 30% off and charge you the same for little sphere one as I would for the big tensor one. So it's like you're gonna get like 50% off. Yeah, I'll give you the twisted one for the price of a non-twisted one, basically. Which is a huge deal because the twisted one has over 44 inches of twisted silver copper in there. So it's a huge deal. And I'll hook you up with a free Herkimer diamond as well. Well, everybody, let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, we just got Chloe. I see Chloe just made a purchase. I'm gonna hook Chloe up with some gifts too. I didn't see what you got, Chloe. I didn't look to see what it was, but I'll check it later. Let me see. Oh, the shungite. Nice. I'll give you extra shungite. I will give you extra shungite. All right. Yeah, some are very secure in there, but some can be delicate because they're gemstones, you know. Some of the gemstones, some of them are delicate. You don't want to We got you. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is the Space Water Podcast, episode 40, and we're continuing the series of when the sun speaks, when soul speaks, and how it's related to the third secret of Fatima. And I wanted to clear up out there because some people were messaging me on social media about something that I said out there. I'm not going to be talking about anybody personally out there. Just you guys can see a lot of people that call themselves experts are not really experts. And it doesn't mean they're not smart people. There's a lot of people that are very smart and speak well, and they're able to deceive about 90 to 95% of the population because they're not versed or well versed in the subject that the person is talking about. So because they're speaking what seems like intelligently and they're making references to certain things, people assume that it's correct, but you guys got to realize that there's a lot of false information out there. A lot of people would like to be experts, but they're really not. And there's also a, a vast majority of people that are in this community that sensationalize their own experiences, and they want to be noticed, and they want to be special, or they want to be like part of something, and they want attention. So you got to ask yourselves, all these people that consider themselves like Montauk survivors or MK Ultras or all these time travel people, like, do you really think all these projects spent millions of dollars on all of these people to put them through time travel experiments? All right. Very few people have gone through certain things like that. All these people that think um, they want to, basically sensationalize a lot of their own traumatic experiences that they've had in life to try to make it more than it is, when in fact it has, the sensationalism is just way, it's like a fantasy. And there's a lot of people that are out there that are trying to get attention for traumatic situations, when in fact they're not even, they're making, a lot of them are making it up, and it takes away from the people that did go through certain things like that, right? And because it does exist out there, and a lot of people out there are saying even they're experts in certain fields, and they're not experts. Even like a lot of people got upset when I mentioned about the emerald tablets not being real, where they're not real. I don't know if people realize that, but a lot of people out there talk about the emerald tablets of Thoth, where there are no actual emerald tablets of Thoth at all. No emerald tablets of Thoth have ever been discovered. If they exist, they're somewhere out there where we don't know, like no one's ever found them yet. So the actual emerald tablets of Thoth that everybody talks about were never produced or found. There's a guy, his real name was Claude Loggins. He was an occultist and changed his name to Dr. Doriel. Forget his first name, but he changed his name to Doriel, his last name Doriel. And he, in the 1920s, I think it was, took a trip to Mexico, Chichen Itza, and he claimed that he discovered these emerald tablets of Thoth beneath the pyramids, but he never produced them. He never showed anybody these tablets, and he ends up publishing a book, right, that has his supposed translations of these invisible tablets. So basically, they're channelings from Dr. Doriel or Claude Loggins. Right. So there was no actual emerald tablets of Thoth. Right. So by going on Amazon and buying a book and then reading the book and saying what you read, that doesn't make it true. So when you have different people, such as like Billy Carson, going out there and they use their so-called expertise, is when they get put on the spot to say, "Oh, where did you find this reference?" "Oh, I bought a book on Amazon." Right? That's not a real expert. You realize what we're dealing here? Even like Billy Carson was recently talking about how um he said that Christ was never crucified, and he found certain references in, first he said it was the Sinai Bible, which there's not even a Sinai Bible. There's a Codex Sinaiticus, um and that's almost the exact same Bible as the Bible we have now. So there's crucifixions in many stories in Matthew and different ways. And then he also was, then when he had a Christian actual expert debating him on this, he said, "Oh, I misspoke. It's not the Sinai Bible. It's the Barnabas doctrine or whatever, right?" And the Barnabas doctrine is a freaking forgery from like the 1500s. It literally has references from Dante's Inferno in there. So this guy like is buying books on Amazon and using that as his expertise, right? It's really, really pathetic, and it takes from people away from people like me who I wouldn't call myself an expert on ancient tablets, but I'm pretty close to one in certain ways. Not in specific. Like I've been reading Ugaritic writings, cuneiform, Egyptian hieroglyphics, Vedic Sanskrit, and all of this for, a long time, like about 20 years. So I'm not an expert, I wouldn't say, but I can spot an expert. Let's say that. Let's say that. And I can hold conversations with experts pretty well. All right. So I wouldn't consider myself an expert in any way because I never went and actually got a degree, and I can't actually I'm not as well versed in certain things and the terminologies that they use, right? But uh, after doing my own studying for many of the years, I have picked up some of the terminology and I can follow most of it, right? And immediately when people speak, I know exactly usually what they're referencing and where they're getting things from. So I can spot experts, and I knew immediately when that guy spoke, who I mentioned previously a couple of years ago. I was saying he's not an expert. He was saying he's the world's. I wouldn't have a problem if he was just a theorist, right? Or he was just talking about his theories. But when you're portraying yourself out there as the world's foremost expert on ancient tablets, which I've heard him say myself, then you're going to criticize religions like Christianity by saying, Jesus wasn't crucified. That's basically saying Christianity is not real. So that's a big statement. And if you're going to say that you found that in ancient writings, I mean, you better be able to prove that. This guy was like pulling out his phone to try to find things online that he read. It was really pathetic, really, really hard to watch. I almost, if I, no, I not that I dislike the guy. Let me clarify. I don't know him personally. I know people that know him. I'm sure he's a smart dude. He seems very smart and well spoken, and he's probably a cool guy to have a beer with, or maybe smoke a joint with or something. But he's not an expert like he's claiming to be. There's no way, right? And like I said, these emerald tablets of thought, they don't exist. Thoth, they don't exist. Show me where they are. Where are they housed? Who found them? They're channelings. Not to, and let me also clear up. I don't, not that I don't think channelings are all bullshit either, because you could get some good information in channelings. And I myself am one of the world's most uh, intense researchers on channelings. And that's definite. I have pretty much almost every channeling that's ever been published from the 1800s until now. Literally. And I'm talking from Christian channelings, all different channelings, all different channelings. I did a previous show called Clothed with the Sun where I was pulling out all the references, all the different channelings. We can go into them, even down to the Zohar and Joseph Smith and Anna Kingsford, even modern day ones, more modern day ones from Barbara Marcinek and Murray Hope and all these different people. Um, so uh, even like the Zohar is considered channelings to me, and so when it comes to the Zohar in 2017, I got the set of books that was published by. Let me show you guys these. They were published by the Stanford University Press. They're expensive too. They're about $50 to $60 each book, and there's like 20 in the volume. And they have literally like the gateways of the Zohar at the beginning of each one. And you guys can see these are really badass volumes of the Zohar. And really badass. And these ones are some of the most, these are some of the most important books right here of the Zohar, these ones here. So, one of the most important is volume 12 of the Zohar, and they have some of the most mystical volumes in here. Um, chapters, some of the most mystical chapters. And then these are some of the most important ones that I've been studying. Volume 1, volume 2. This is volume 8 and volume 12 that I have here. But these are channelings as well. No doubt they are channelings. But some channelings you got to use discernment, and I don't recommend somebody channeling where they step in and they don't know what transpired. You shouldn't need a middleman like that. You should be able to connect consciously, right? You shouldn't have to go to sleep and let something step in, right? That I feel is very dangerous, and a lot of distortions can happen, and a lot of hijacking can happen during those uh those sessions. And not a lot of good things have come from people that have done this. All right, it was very hard on Edgar Casey, and I feel Edgar Casey was manipulated during his channelings, and this is where we got the Urantia book that you see over here. This book here, I do believe this was the majority of this was channeled by Edgar Casey while he was in private sessions with Dr. William Sadler in Chicago. And I did a previous show about it. There's proof that Edgar Casey was making periodic visits to Chicago, and most likely it was to see Dr. Sadler, who was a psychiatrist who was also deeply involved in researching psychic activity and psychics. So if you go through Edgar Casey's readings, there's various times where an angelic being like Azazel or not exactly Azazel. What was the name of it? Halil, I think one of them was. Um, they appeared. I'll do a show on this. I'll do a show on this. I did a show on Leak Project a couple of years back about this, but unfortunately, Leak Project had to remove all the old videos of his show, of his podcast, and he had to start his whole channel over. So all the old videos are gone. So some of the videos that I had that did, and that's not a booger in the corner of my nose. That's just a light. I know it looks like there's a booger hanging there, and I caught it on the camera, but it's not a booger. It's just a light shining in the corner of my nose. I know it looks like there's a snot there if you catch it on an angle. Um, uh, yeah, what was I gonna say? So yeah, he took down all the old videos, and we have some of them that had over 300,000 views. 300,000 views that he had to take down. So, or it was recommended to him by his YouTube manager, I guess, to take them down. But yeah, I mean, some of the channelings are very interesting. Like I said, one of the most interesting ones, and we're gonna get into the channelings of some people as well that have to do with the sun, the light coming down and giving us a lot of information, and even about chastisements. And this is what this series has been about. I've been talking about the third secret of Fatima and some of the Marian apparitions, or so-called Marian apparitions, that have transpired. Um, which I do feel, unfortunately, the church manipulated into claiming these visions as Marian apparitions when they were not, in fact, the mother of Jesus Christ, but something much older, much more ancient. And it has to do directly with our sun and intelligence coming from our sun. Yeah, no, all I said, first of all, too, when people can get upset and attack you verbally because your opinion is different than theirs, and then you can actually back up your opinion with factual information, I don't understand I don't understand what the problem is. Nowadays, people can't be a lot of people have trouble being friends with someone if the person has a different opinion than them or has a different view than them on something, which to me is absurd because it's ridiculous. It's actually a form of lunacy. See, our differences is what makes us special and unique, right? And I don't want to be friends with someone if I can't have my own view on things, if I have to just be their cheerleader, right? I do not want to be someone's cheerleader. Oh, my brother. Shout out to Alexander J. Mitchell, part of the 444 Galactic crew. We're going to be actually working together doing some psionic missions. He's one of the commanders out there working with energy sites. Powerful being encased in that physical matter named Alexander Mitchell. Powerful spiritual force there. Shout out to my buddy. Also has a bought a lot of pendants from me and things as well. Alexander G. Mitchell. And so I wanted to clear up that yes, I'm very interested in channelings. I mean, I just don't recommend people letting a being take over their consciousness and step in. I feel this is causes great distortions and it's very dangerous and you don't know the agenda of the being or what it can do to your system and your nervous system and your whole being. And you've seen different things like what's the guy's name? Daryl Anka with Bashar, I think. That is to me the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. If anybody believes that's real, then they're not psychic at all because that is a shit show. It's just somebody giving like therapeutic advice. It's like going to see a friggin' psychiatrist, right? It's really horrible. It's really poor acting too. But there's very interesting channelings out there though. Very, very interesting channels. Like I said, the one that's called Oahspe, right? So and we're gonna get back into the Fatima encounters. We're gonna get back into the Fatima encounters in a minute. And I have some interesting things to share, but if no one's ever heard of Oahspe, this is the giant Oahspe channelings. This was done in 1880, and you can order right from the Oahspe uh, community that they still have the Eloist edition, right? And this is a monster. This is bigger than our own Bible. Golden pages. I mean, it puts Joseph Smith and the Mormon to shame. And this guy wasn't trying to start a religion of his own. This guy's name was John McBrow, and in he was a dentist, a freaking dentist in the 1800s, right? And the 1880s. He was living in New York City at the time, but he wasn't born in New York City or raised. I think he was raised down south. But he was living in New York City as a dentist in 1880. 1880, everybody. Almost 150 years ago, right? So while in his room in 1880, being a pillar of light came down and took control over his hands, and he began automatic writing what we see here. And this is called OASP, which means, I think, earth, spirit, and sky. We'll get into that in a minute. And this is the words of Jehovah and the angel ambassadors for 24,000 years. 24,000 years. And this guy clearly describes the Van Allen belts way before we knew they existed. And it's not a perfect book. And they even state that in there, that it's not perfect. Of course, there's nothing perfect out there, but there's some legit scientific information that can be verified in here way before we knew it. So if that doesn't show you that there's some source coming through the light, right? And yeah, he was basically did this I think over a year's time. He wrote the book. Yeah, Oahspe literally means sky, earth, and spirit. O for sky, A-H for earth, and S-P-E for spirit. It says it's a product of automatic writing, which occurred through the hands of medium Dr. John B. Newbrow over the course of 1 year, 1881, in New York City. The book stated that it was written by an overshadowing of angelic beings who are not a separate order in creation, but are actually our elder brothers and sisters, once mortals like us, but now high raised in wisdom or vibration, if you'd like to say, through countless years of growth and experience. Now, I do believe it's quite possible that the angelic beings of light that were communicating through this man are now incarnating to help save the planet because the messages weren't enough. These souls had to once again take physical form. And I do believe that many of us are right now encased in physical matter and are angelic beings trapped with amnesia. Because when we decided to take this physical form, once we entered into this realm, we are now subject to the rules of this realm. Once you become human, you now are subject to all the laws of humanity. You also inherit the amnesia of humanity. So you are unaware of the powerful angelic force that's encased within your physical matter. That's why he had to activate it. It's time to shake it up. And I'm here to shake up humanity and activate that force within you. This is why my devices are being made. This is why my products are being made, to activate and wake up your harmonic being, your angelic force. We're going to start doing. I just lost the chat room for a minute. Are we back here? Am I still live? It's saying that it's being sent to YouTube. It's like it was stalling for a minute. Wow, they're trying to shut me down over here. It says preparing live stream. Let me show you guys right on my end too. Look, I'll share screen for you guys. Say, look, preparing live stream. Preparing live stream. It's like not even it's showing me that it's not even working yet. And it was just running like that. Welcome, my brother Isaac. And shout out to Alexander. Shout out to Alexander. Yes, sir. We are a family of light, and we've been blinded. The angelic beings that have chose to incarnate here, I don't think took into account that once you incarnate, you inherit the laws of this realm. And we are currently stuck in sludge. We are encased in a cosmic slime, a cosmic sludge. And within that sludge, we are underneath the sludge. And it's a sludge that brings amnesia. So those angelic beings that have now incarnated on the planet are not even aware of who they are. So let's wake some of them up tonight. Let's wake some of you up tonight. The sludge factory, right? Like Alice in Chains. Oh, right? Oh, sludge factory. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. So yes, I highly recommend people checking out the Oahspe challenge, uh, channelings. So I am a fan of channelings. It's not that I don't, but I think they're highly dangerous depending on the way the medium and how much of themself the medium is giving up, right? If you're completely giving yourself to the channel, it's very dangerous. Very dangerous. It was dangerous for the law of one channelings, right? Many people don't realize. I have the books back upstairs on my other bookshelves. I had them down here the other day and I showed them in um the guy Don Elkins, he unalived himself after book two. After book two, he was gone. Right? He went to a insane asylum beforehand. Right? It drove him mad communicating with the channel. Drove him mad. How come all of these people that glorify the law of one channelings don't bring up the fact that it drove somebody insane? Also, the person that was channeling, that was the tool that was Carla Ruckert. Her health was greatly affected by it. You guys see the difference between the before and after of what happened to what she looked like. She went from being a very petite hippie chick to a very bloated, uh, health riddled, bad health riddled. I mean, she was really she went from really horrible her health afterwards, right? So a lot of these people in our community are faking it. It's unfortunate because they want the attention. I never needed the attention. I've gotten attention in my life, too much attention, in fact. But I'm one of those real ones out there. People don't realize where I came from before this. Yes, I have the mysticism in my hereditary makeup. I've always been into mysticism my whole life, but I also came from a troubled young life, right? As a teen, I ended up in group homes. I ended up in adolescent facilities. I ended up fighting for my life, not only in the streets of New York City, but in the streets of Los Angeles. And then I even traveled. When I was in California, I ended up traveling from different places in the world, from Thailand to Brazil, all by myself and fighting for my life, even professionally in a Muay Thai ring. I've been humbled. I know how to have a conversation with somebody and have differences and still be their friend and still care about them even. Other people are like I'm just a different level of man than a lot of people in this community because they've never been tested, they've never been humbled, they've never had to survive the way I have. And this is why I've studied also my whole life, because I've had a lot of time by myself. I've had a lot of time to have to search for answers, right? Look for reasons why. And I've been spiritually led my whole life to do certain research and to see certain things. Oh yeah, man. I exposed homeboy a couple of years back. And he's a big dude too. He's like 6'4", and he tries to intimidate people by showing up their house in the middle of the night with a bat, like he did that poor Wes Huff, the Christian scholar, who made him look ridiculously stupid. I tried to tell you all a couple of years back. I'm not claiming I'm an expert on ancient writings, but I'm like as expert as you're gonna get without being an expert, right? I can spot experts. That's my very easy. And I can hold conversations with experts. And I refuse. The life that I've lived, it would be cowardly of me to kiss somebody's ass to be on their conference or to be on their podcast. I'm not going to do it. My information and the way I carry myself should be enough, right? I'm not being disrespectful unless it's called for, unless I'm being disrespected. Trust me, right? I recently was kicked off the full disclosure now conference, basically. And well, I was attacked by the owner of it because I said that because I called out homeboy. I didn't call out to anybody. He jumped into my conversation, the guy, when he didn't belong there. All I did was I posted on Facebook that I thought the Emerald Tablets of Thoth that they're not real, because they're not real. They've never been found, right? And I literally was attacked by the owner of that conference, who I'm supposed to be at the conference this summer, but not anymore. And then the way he attacked me was like verbally, like criticizing me. Like that's like if you were trying to have a debate with somebody, you don't do it by making fun of them or trying to, if all you got is insults, you've already lost. All right. If you got to resort to insults and start and crashing out on someone, right? That's what people say nowadays, right? Crashing out. Like if you got to crash out in a debate, you've already lost, right? And this dude was crashing out on me, basically crashing out, all because I said the Emerald Tag. And I wasn't saying it to him either. I wasn't. He had nothing to do with the conversation. But yeah, I got kicked off. There has already been fallout from me saying that. I got kicked off the conference. I blocked the dude too, like out of my life, because first of all, he said it's this is I'm part of this movement. He told me it's my business because I'm advocating for you, dude. I don't need you to advocate. I am not kissing anybody's butt to be at a conference. All right, I refuse. I will not do it. People should do a little research on the person they call out. This guy was like, I'm going to call you out. Call me out. If you would really like to debate me, come on. I'm right here, ready to debate. If you're going to sit there and let me speak and not butt in while I'm speaking, and then I'll sit and let you speak, I'm ready. Anybody who would like to debate the topics I talk about. All right, because some of it is theory that I'm talking about, my thoughts and ideas, but some of it is factual. When I'm not saying I'm not going to sit here and say that I have proof of something from falsified documents. I know what's real and what's not out there. I've been doing this a long time. All right, so people need to realize, yeah, to clear that up too about the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I think people need to realize, because I think they actually think that the Emerald Tablets of Thoth exist, and they don't. If they do exist, they haven't been found yet. All right. I think there might be one tablet that is emerald that's in a museum, but I think it has to do with uh the Hermes. Hermes can be a name for Thoth as well. So maybe people confuse that, but it's not the emerald tablets that people are saying that they are. right? They are of a channeling, most likely from Dr. Doriel. You can't handle the truth. Thank you, everybody. So yeah, go if you want, go donate to their invisible forbidden knowledge stock and see what that gets you. Right? Yeah, you know what? People are saying that oh he's that's not his real name either, and that he went to jail for fraud or has been arrested for fraud. You know, people could look into my past. I've been arrested before in my life. I told you I had a troubled teen background, right? My teens up until I was like 20 or 21 years old, I was getting in trouble a lot, right? But not for being a fraud. There were like bullshit drug weed charges and stuff, like, you know, being out in the public, and getting caught with bud and stuff like that. So it was just basically harmless teenage bullcrap, So I'm open with what I've been. Yeah, I was in adolescent as an adolescent. I was even in Rikers Island as an adolescent. I was in county jail as an adolescent. I was in group homes as an adolescent, right? So I understand about having a troubled past, but like I changed my life over 20 years ago. And since then, I have helped hundreds, if not thousands, of people all over the world. And I have followed my true path. I have got back on my path because even when I was like a troubled youth, I was still on my path of knowledge. Like I tell you, my mom, even when I would get in trouble, my mom would be dropping me off books that you see here for me to read and stuff. So I've always been like this. I could show you sketches that I've done from 30 years ago that are of mystical knowledge, right? I've always been this way, right? Even in my senior year of high school, I was voted most individualistic and I had like my own style and I've always been like this, right? So I don't need to try to glorify my experiences for attention. I've gotten attention, negative and positive my whole life, right? I don't need any more attention. This is not why I do what I'm doing. So when you see out there people that want to be like famous because they went through trauma, you should be really apprehensive with that. When people are glorifying being part of a project or Montauk or this or that, should be really worried about that, right? Anybody that would want to glorify going through trauma. And let me also explain to you that you really think that all of these now hundreds of people really had millions of dollars spent on them for time travel experiments? Very few, if any, of these people have been involved in those type of projects. Those types of projects take millions of dollars. And all of these random Dungeons and Dragons, no girlfriend dudes that think they're part of all these projects all over the planet. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And I can tell when someone's legitimate very quickly. It's not foolproof, but, unfortunately, it takes away from the real that's happened out there. I knew people that were really part of Montauk. Like I knew Duncan Cameron personally. Um, he was really close with Preston Nichols and was trying to get me to go to their house all the time. I never personally went there, but my wife actually knew Preston Nichols personally as well. So between me and my wife, we know people that were actually involved in Montauk. And I'm pretty sure if Duncan was here today, he would tell you that most of these people that are talking about it nowadays don't know what they're talking about. And it was decommissioned by the early 1980s. And yes, there is time travel. But like I said, do you really think all of these people that are claiming to be in these projects that millions of dollars were spent on all of these kids and all these people? Now, people like Preston were paying random drug addicts to do little experiments at his house. That's a different story, but that's not part of being a Montauk project kid. That's just the the fancying of a distorted man getting his rocks off. It ain't a project, right? So, like, I know for a fact Preston Nichols was paying like local drug addicts $25, $50 to come sit on his chair, right? Which consisted of maybe a wand going somewhere. And you had to be naked on this chair. So let use your imagination, right? And they would ride the orgasmic brain waves, right, while they were hooked up to certain devices and psychotronics or whatever you want to call them, right? So that to me is not being part of Montauk. That's just being you're turning tricks with a mad scientist. All right, that's what you're doing. So you can glorify it and tell yourself that you're part of a project. But no, you're actually just turning tricks with a psychopath. All right? That's what you're doing. So there's a big difference between doing time travel and turning tricks with someone that's into psychotronics. All right? All right? Big difference. So most of these people nowadays that are claiming to be Montauk were actually probably just turning tricks with a psychotronics dude. All right? So if you really want to hear it, the real deal, Holyfield. But yeah, there has been some real interesting channelings out there. Really interesting channelings out there. And the Oahspe is something that people need to get into. Definitely need to get into. It's a very interesting read. I don't think people should take it as 100% truth or anything, but it's a very interesting read for research. And like I said, clearly describes the Van Allen belts in here way before we knew about them in our time, right? And this is supposedly a sacred history of the dominions of the higher and lower heavens of the earth for the past 24,000 years, being from the submersion of the continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean, commonly called the flood or deluge in the Cosmin to the Cosmin era. Also, a brief history of the preceding 55,000 years, together with a synopsis of the cosmogony of the universe, the creation of planets, the creation of man, the unseen worlds, the labor and glory of gods and goddesses in the Etherian heavens. The Eloist edition. Very interesting. And this was written in 1880, supposedly channeled from ambassadors of angelic ambassadors, which I do believe started to reincarnate on this planet because the messages were not received. It did not change the course like they hoped. This is why, look at, and this came in these channelings in the 1800s, later 1800s were very important. This came in 1880, right? 1880, you have John McBrow with Oahspe. Then you also have around the same time, you have Anna Kingsford with her Closed with the Sun channelings around the same time. These were channeled in, I think they're around 1880. Let me see here. Come on, where's the date? Okay, so Anna Kingsford lived from 1846 to 1888. But these were published after she died in 1906. So I know she did publish something while she was alive. So I don't know if these were okay. Edward Maitland, who was the person working with her, he originally published them before he died, which was published in 1893, and The Life of Anna Kingsford, which was published in 1896. Right, so these are, of course, not as extensive as Oahspe, And of course, you had a whole religion that was started from a very small book of Joseph Smith with the Mormons. And supposedly he also was like a guy named Dr. like Doriel, right? Very similar to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth in a way that no tablets were ever produced, right? You had Joseph Smith, who ironically was in upstate New York as well. So you had John McBrow, who in New York City gets this pillar of light that starts having him do automatic writing. And then also Joseph Smith was in upstate New York, where he supposedly had this angel Moroni give him some sort of tablet or golden tablet that never was produced. Tablet supposedly disappears after it was translated. Um, Very convenient. And I'm not sure. I mean, I think Joseph Smith probably had mushrooms on the farm that he was in that part of New York, upstate New York, where he was. There's a lot of mushrooms in that area, and it could have been that he had a spiritual experience while tripping, while straight up, you know, going through it, and that's quite possibly how that movement was started. That doesn't take away from his experience. It could have been quite real, and he could have been shown some sort of etheric tablet, but we'll never know now, right? We'll never know the truth behind that. And it could have been one of the Grigori, what we call the Grigori, or you could call them archangels, you can call them seraphim, all different names for fallen angels in the Bible. They talk about the Grigori are the watchers as well. These are the ones that guard the dimensional planes, right? So any spirit work, you have to you have to negotiate with these beings. Even people doing spell work, if you're going to draw a pentagram or do radionics with these beings, the minute you even take out your pencil to draw the sigil that you're going to draw or something like that, they smell the aroma of the lead in your pencil. They're already there to negotiate because you cannot open up those planes without their assistance, without their knowledge. This is why they are the watchers. They are the eyes of the light. They are all of the suns and stars and the light that is streaming from them and being absorbed by the collective. Everything that you do in those realms, you have to negotiate with the watchers, right? There is no opening up doorways without their knowledge and approval and negotiations, good or bad, good or bad, right? So, my specific bloodline, the Tanaric mystics, are the ones that know about the stellar realms. They know about the knowledge of the Grigori, the knowledge of the Watchers, the knowledge of the stars, right? So these beings, there's good and bad, right? Right? You're actually attracting all of these energies, even being creative, right? They're helping guide your paintbrush. They're helping you play that guitar song, right? They're there, right with you, right? There's an invisible force all around us. You're on a galactic stage every time you're being creative, and your chords are out there literally traveling through the cosmos. Yeah, I mean, fallen is a Christian aspect, these angelic beings. So it could be the ones that we call fallen are the ones that have incarnated here, the ones that are here now stuck in the sludge, encased within it, right? We can wake them up right now. Let's wake up some of these angelic beings that are encased in this physical matter right now and don't know who they are. They are subject to the rules of this realm. And I actually think this is why you see a lot of beings that enter into this dimension. Some of these gargoyle encounters that you have in Puerto Rico, where, or even dogmen, right? The where they say, "Oh, we saw it on the side of the road, or we found it somewhere eating roadkill." No, it's not eating roadkill. It caught that mf'er. It caught it. If you see some sort of gargoyle that's 7 foot tall with wings, or a dog man that's 8 foot, and it's eating a cat on the side of the road, it didn't just pick up roadkill. It caught the cat. Because when something comes in this dimension, it automatically, immediately gets subject to the raw laws of this realm, which means now you're experiencing hunger. Now you're experiencing sexual urges. Now you're experiencing all the laws of this nature. So the first thing they're going to do is now feel hunger for the first time, and they're going to catch something. And what are they going to catch? Animals that are running around, alley cats, you know, things that are running around. And they'll be very fast to be able to catch a cat. Trust me, right? So people need to realize that. I had Jorge Martin on my show, right? He's a journalist from Puerto Rico, and he talked about his son, who was a Puerto Rican police officer, now retired, who had an encounter on the top of the police station with an 8 foot gargoyle, an 8 foot saurian being with wings that was eating a cat on the top of the roof. They heard a crash on the roof at the police station. They ran and grabbed their guns and their flashlights. They ran up to the top of the roof. When they got to the top of the roof, there was an 8 foot gargoyle that put them in a trance with its glowing eyes. And the thing dropped the cat. It was eating a cat. And it wasn't just roadkill that it found. It caught that cat. Because most likely, now people have even seen in the El Junque rainforest swirling portals opening up within the forest and flying gargoyle type beings, or even pterodactyl looking type beings flying out, because they're using advanced portal technology in Puerto Rico by our military. Most likely, in my opinion, this is being used in Puerto Rico, and they're opening up doorways from other Earth-like dimensions that most likely still have dinosaurs and things like that in them, or similar beings. And then when you come into this realm, you're going to be subject to now the laws of this dimension. You're going to now be hungry. You're going to mouth all this stuff. So that's literally what's transpiring on this planet. We have doorways opening up from the sun to this earth as well. Doorways. And these are how we get certain beings coming here, certain crafts even coming here directly from the portal of the sun to our magnetic field, into our magnetosphere, in the doorways in our magnetosphere. And right now, our magnetic north is literally shifting right over Russia. And a lot of a lot of prophecies that have come down to so-called seers, Russia has been involved with with triggering a cataclysmic event on the planet that brings World War III and destruction. Now, the sun is literally moving magnetic north right over Russia, so Russia can be the first to get blasted with the flame of the sun, with the sword of Archangel Michael. Guys, support me right here in the super chat. If you like my podcast, you can support me at PayPal. We have 30% off at the Mystical Spiral store, everybody. So we're going to get into more of the third secret of Fatima as well. We're going to go deep into this. I wish I had a break button so we could take a 2-minute break. I got to figure out how to do this right, where I could do that. I think I could do it on if I get StreamYard, but I'm using Zoom right now. Yeah, I mean Nostradamus did predict it, but Nostradamus has very cryptic messages because the times that he was living in, so see, we got Nostradamus. You got the complete prophecies of Nostradamus. Um, I mean, very cryptic, very cryptic. That's why I really don't want to. We'd have to do a show in itself to try to dissect the Nostradamus, but we will do eventually a show on Nostradamus. Um, it's very, very cryptic. And I like more specific channelings. Uh, you know, I don't like guessing. All right. I like more specific. Baba Vanga, she was a little bit more specific, but she also was very symbolic as well. She was from Bulgaria, and which is a place of very ancient, one of the oldest places of Europe. It's a place of ancient Thracian warriors, right? This is a very ancient area of the Thracians. And Baba Vanga talked about how in the year of the dragon, this earth will be split apart. And we are in the year of the dragon, my brothers and sisters, right now. Right now, there's only a month left, and less than a month left. Not even a month left. No doubt. We can maybe meet up later tonight. I'm supposed to do a reading after this too tonight. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's so much that we can go into when it comes to, I mean, even the channelings that you have in ancient times. I mean, a lot of these ancient, you know, we're gonna do whole shows on even the Ugaritic writings, all sorts of things. If you guys want to get some good Ugaritic text, you could get the translations of Nicholas Wyatt. This might be a little expensive out there. These books are probably a few $100s to get. These are like the legit translations of the Ugaritic, which is like North Syria area, and this has all the ball cycle of myths. You could probably get a cheaper version of translations through see here. Miss Pritchard, one of these ones. These have translations of some of the it's not as advanced as this, right? And doesn't have the Ugaritic actually in it, does it? But it's a good beginner by James Pritchard. This is a lot cheaper. Um, and this one I've had like all the pages fell out the back. Like they have all the plates at the end, and the rest of the book's all right, but the plates fell out. All the pictures. But this one is probably better for you guys to get. The other ones I would only recommend if you're really a studier of it. Well, you got the Ugaritic writings. Yeah, these definitely talk about the sun bringing storms and chastisements, and they're being mistranslated by a lot of these scholars, in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of shaking up for people to start changing in academia as well. Um, I had personal correspondence with Malachi Martin in 1996. He passed away in 1999, and he was one that talked about the third secret of Fatima. And I do feel in 2025 we will have a very earth-changing event, possibly in June or July. But it doesn't mean that we can't change this still. It doesn't mean that we can't change this. We can still change this. As we speak, we can change this. In fact, I'm gonna let's hit Tibetan bell right now to wake some people up. Some of these angelic beings that are encased in their physical matter and encased in their amnesia right now. Let me do a little waking up for people. Here, we'll do a signature change and we'll wake some people up tonight. Here we go. Ready? On three, we're gonna wake some people up. One, two, three. Can't carry well. There we go. Can it ring? Each time I strike it, it's gonna wake another person up. Wow. Wow. Guys, we'll be back live later tonight. We'll continue this later tonight, everybody. Sit with that.